Hey fellow gamers, Chatty Sisa here and welcome to the next live stream. It's a Friday evening again and I'm happy to see you here. I hope we'll have a lot of discussing to do and I have prepared also, of course, again, some of the topics for this time. You have seen some of them already on the thumbnail, but I do have something more as usual. And then also, please feel free to post anything in the chat window. The chat is open for you. And I can see it here on this side, so I will be reacting to anything you are going to say. Or type. On this spot also, I wanted to welcome all the new people. I have a couple of new subscribers again, so in case you're joining the live stream, welcome. I'm really happy to see you here, and I just wanted to mention a little bit that the streams that I'm doing occasionally on a approximately monthly schedule are usually talking about what's currently going on in the world of gaming, but not only. So there are also some other, let's say, world happenings that we are discussing. The last time you have probably seen it, I have mentioned what's going on in the UK. So for my UK viewers, I don't think that there was anything new that I have said. In the meantime, it's got a little bit bad or worse, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to talk about this too much in the detail because I'm just currently silently observing and hoping that the EU will not be as crazy as the people in the UK government. So much to that topic. Also for the mentioning of my pets, probably you haven't seen it, and some of you who are longer here, you have already probably seen it. I do have 2 dogs and 2 cats here, and they do have a tendency to appear in the background behind me, sometimes with zoomies. Thankfully, it wasn't so bad yet, but just so you are not surprised, the door in the background behind me is a little bit ajar. I have to keep it ajar so they can walk around, and just on this spot it can happen that they will pop in to the screen, so just FYI. Good. As I said, we have 2 topics. This time we have indie games. That's the 2 main topics, indie games and Mafia the Old Country, let's say, impressions. I did post so far, I think 6 chapters, so that would be the prologue plus 5 of the chapters on my channel. I did play already the next one as well, so feel free to discuss that one too, in case you have already played the game. It's just not yet edited. I am taking my time. Unfortunately, it wasn't so easy to do during this week. It was a little bit busy. But I am trying to cut it together for the next Tuesday, which will be then the next day when I'm posting some bits. So let's continue with the main topics. I do have, as I said, these 2, and I would probably start with the indie games because there are actually 3 indie games that I would like to talk about. Let me open on the screen what I have on my computer. So let me just switch and let me make sure that you can see me as well. So that's what I have prepared. As you can see, the first game is called Blue Shutter. I did mention it already quite a few months ago when I have noticed the game, let's say, being made, and the developers have posted a couple of information about the game, and I really did like what I have seen. I know it's not something that is usually on my channel, so I'm not really, let's say, playing these kind of pixelated games. I did play Arco, which was fun, and I have also posted the demo for that one on the channel. And I have noticed this one, as I said, and it's a 2.5D game. It is having an interesting story, and I really do like how they have created the, let's say, gameplay. So basically your main weapon will be a camera. and the different camera angles and how you are working with the camera, like shutter and everything, will be how you handle your enemies. So it's a very interesting thought, and it's a great idea, and I really like the idea. So that's why I kept track a little bit with the game. And I wanted to mention it's on Steam, as you can see. And the game is also already having a demo, which unfortunately, again, I haven't had the time yet to play, but it's on my list. I am not currently logged in, just so you can see like what the page looks like when you are not logged in, and you can basically like wishlist the game. There is also the demo, I think somewhere mentioned. So feel free to check it out. The story, as I said, is very interesting. It is taking place in a small town, and the darkness is creeping upon the town, and you have to basically fight the darkness and your enemies with your camera. It is mentioned here in the description, so you can read it for yourself. I will also, again, of course, post all the links of what I'm presenting in the description below after the streaming is done and after the recorded stream is available. So I will be putting in the links there. The features which are here, let me just open it. So you can see it's a 2.5D pixel art adventure. And you can see a little bit, let's say, from the combat here. So that's how you combat your enemies with the camera. And you can find more information here, including the system requirements. And I just wanted to point out, of course, because it's, let's say, a 2.5D pixelated game, it's not necessarily requiring the newest graphics, as you can see as well here on the screen. So you can play this also on some older PCs or PCs that are not having the best, let's say, or the newest graphic card, which I think is quite nice because it is a new game, and I do like how crisp the visuals are, honestly. So that much for the post on this on Steam. They do have also a post on or a page on X. If you are on X, check it out. There are regular information that they are posting about the game that is being developed, always the newest stuff and some little details here and there, so you can see it on the screen. And then, as you have noticed, they have also a Kickstarter that will be live on the October 22nd. And I wanted to mention this on the spot, but it's basically for all the indie games. The indie games are usually done by people who are either a solo dev, like one person alone, or a very, very small team, 2, 3, 4 people who are working on these games, and usually out of their own pocket. And they spend a lot of time, like of their spare time, to create these games. And I'm really grateful for that, because we have seen what's going on in the AAA business, especially in the last couple of years. And to be honest, there's not so many good AAA games, and more people are looking towards the indie devs and towards the AA studios and the smaller studios. And I do think because these people usually don't have any kind of like separate financing and anyone that would be supporting them specifically, it is great that if they open a Kickstarter, if they have a demo, that the people can check it out. And if you like the game, and if you think that it is something that you would like to support, please always do that, because these people, like I said, have limited means of how to do that, but they are still making the effort of bringing us new games. And I really appreciate that a lot. So as I said, they have a Kickstarter, and I also have, I think, the Kickstarter page here. So if you are on Kickstarter and you would like to support them, play the demo, look at the demo. It's also mentioned here there is a free demo already available on Steam, and feel free to support them if you like the game. I will be definitely playing the demo, and I will be posting my impressions from the demo on the channel. I'm not sure yet if I will be posting like the entire playthrough, or if I will be just posting some highlights and maybe mention what's in the demo. and maybe some pluses and minuses like I did for another game, which I will be talking about soon. So there is this information as well, and then also they have a page, like a game page, where you can follow up on the newest information, where you can find something maybe that's not necessarily mentioned on Steam or on Kickstarter. So there are a couple of other links as well, and there's a little bit about the team and the programmers, as you can see, and it's just 3 people in this case, and it's, let's say, a small unit, a family unit of people who are trying to do this. Please check it out, and like I said, please feel free to support them if you like the game. I really like what I have seen so far. So that much for Blue Shutter. That was the first of the indie games. Let me switch a little bit to OBS, maybe just to see if somebody has already posted something. And yes, Luis is here. Hi, Luis. It's great to see you. Thank you very much for being here. And yeah, you are saying, doing all right, Sisa. Sorry, can't stick around much today. Plus the train internet is exceptionally crap today. So you're on the train again. Okay, Luis deserves a special shout out because he's always joining, even if he's sitting on a train and connecting from a train with a crappy internet connection. So Luis, really big thanks for being here. Really much appreciated. Thank you. And yeah, I'm doing fine. I had a little delay again because we had a storm here, and unfortunately the internet connection wasn't also so great on my part about an hour and a half ago, an hour ago, so I wasn't sure if I will be able to like start on time. And the internet was a little bit dropping off in the speed, so I started a little bit later, but I hope you don't mind. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm hoping you are doing fine as well. And I'm just introducing the indie games. As I said, there are indie games, 3 indie games that I would like to talk about, and then a little bit about my Mafia the Old Country impressions. And then at the end of the stream, I have something like a funny mention of something that happened. But no worries if you are not able to be here all the time. It will be posted, the whole stream will be posted again on the channel, so you can watch then the recording. So that's from my side, but really glad that you are here. Let me go to the next indie game that I have. And the next indie game is called Curse of Dominion. And again, this is one of the games which is done only by one single game dev. It is something which is already having a demo as well available on Steam. So I'm trying to introduce games which you can check out on your own. And the demo that is available, I did play already around with it a little bit. I do like it. There are a few little details and things that could use a little improvement, but overall I really like the setup what's there currently. And I have also noticed that the developer has also upgraded the demo. So I think he's like still continuously working on improving the game. And also maybe if you have some feedback for the developer, I'm pretty sure he would be happy to hear that. There is also a page, I think, where you can reach him, and also the X. He has an X account. So that's a solo dev again. There is a little bit about the game here, and as you can see, it's basically a tactical RPG game which is having a view, an isometric view, which you can zoom in closer, but you can zoom out also a little bit. And that's because you need to see basically the, let's say, the squares, the grid on which you can move during combat. And there are several types of characters that are there with different skills. You can test out what each character can do. And you have some which are more focused on offense, some more on defense, of course. So it's kind of like a classical RPG with classical RPG characters. And you can see also the description a little bit here, that there are tactical battles, you can deepen companion loyalty, evade those who would kill you for power, and watch a secret moral scale quietly escape Elvorith's fate. So there is a story behind it that should be interesting as well. Of course, naturally, it's a RPG, so there will be a story that you will be driving forward. As I said, the demo is relatively it has a couple of quirks, so it's not maybe easy to go through the combat the first time, but if you are sticking around and try to figure out how it works and play around with it a little bit more, then it really becomes very interesting. And I'm really looking forward to like a more polished and more finished product. I would advise you definitely to check it out. It really looks cool so far. And we also have already here a planned release date, which would be in 2027. Yeah, it's quite a ways off, yes, but again, it's a solo dev, so it's a guy that's working alone on the game, and he will probably need some time to finish it on his own. There are, of course, more information here, and if you look at what's like the most important bit that got my attention, it will take approximately 50 to 60 hours for the main story. So this will be like a full-fledged game that will be relatively, let's say, long for a let's say solo dev for an indie game, and I'm really looking forward. And also you get more information here about the story. There are of course the system requirements already posted here. And you can see what type of system requirements or what kind of system you will need. I'm having only the information which is posted here on Steam, but I do think it's quite a lot. And you can also find more information either on the developer's X account, as I mentioned. So he has an account where you can have a look at more of the details. And as you could see, and it's also mentioned here, he also does have a Kickstarter open or it will be open. You can be notified on launched. And if you like, again, the demo, if you like what you see, and if you would like to support the developer, please check out the Kickstarter as well and maybe support him with a small amount. It's not really that much for us if we are many, and it doesn't, let's say, hurt that much, but for him it will be absolutely great if people will join and support his work. So feel free to check it out. Also, as I mentioned, this game also does have a web page or a game page on its own where you can find more information. And as you can see, the community pages are also here. So it also has the game has also a Discord server, and you can find it on YouTube, you can find something on X, Steam, etc. So feel free to check it out. Again, the link will be in the description below. So that would be the second indie game I wanted to talk about. Let me switch again a little bit to the chat. And I can see Louis is writing, well, if it is a game less reliant on graphics and more on core gameplay loop, it probably doesn't matter if it's delayed. Yeah, it is something where, like I said, it will be taking some time for the developer to finish it, especially if it's one person alone or if it's a very small team. But I do think it's worth keeping an eye on that. It's something new, something different, and I'm really not looking forward to so many AAA games, to be honest. There is Exodus, there is Expanse, which will be coming. I will be definitely following up on those. We do have the what's this Bond game? The First Light. So the 007 First Light game, which is with the young James Bond. I will be keeping an eye on that one too. But currently, honestly, there's not really that much going on that would really grab my attention. Yes, I know there's a ton of games that are coming out, but not really something that would really grab my attention, to be honest. And instead, I have had a look at these indie games, and I do find quite a few of them very interesting and worth to checking them out. So that's why I'm mentioning them here. So that would be the second indie game I wanted to mention. And then there is the third one. And I'm pretty sure you all already know that one, because we did already talk about it on this channel. Let me go back. And it's Pompeii: The Legacy, which is a city builder. So again, something that's not something that is not a game that I'm usually playing on my channel or introducing on my channel. It is again something a little bit different, but I did have a chance to play the demo. And again, there is a demo available on Steam if you would like to check it out. And the game as such will be having an early access already on the 16th of September. It's now on the screen. And if you are wondering why the early access, it's also explained here. So on Steam, the early access allows me to include the players directly in the development process. Since I'm a solo developer, having that open line of communication with the community is especially valuable. It helps me stay grounded, prioritize better, and react quickly to feedback. And I do have to say, appreciate that the developer, again, solo developer, as you have heard and seen, Željko Kos, he is already having the, let's say, first batch of feedbacks from the demo that was released. I think it was around March. And in March, there were about 5,000 people who have already played the demo. And I also made from that playthrough of that demo a review on my channel. So in case you are interested, you can find it here. And I was really very, very impressed. Again, something that is what I would like to highlight. This is the work of one person. He's done this on his own alone. And again, financing everything on his own, etc., etc. So he's really working on this game, let's say, with just the help of a couple of friends in terms of music or in terms of the voice acting. And currently, he did have a shout out for translators. I have checked with him very briefly, like if he was able to find the translators that he needed for the languages that he was looking for. I think Polish was still missing, but then I think somebody has already reached out to him on that one as well. But I just wanted to, in general, I wanted to point out, even if the language is not listed, and that is on X. So if you go onto his X account, in case you are on X, you can see that he has a call for voice actors also there, but he's also looking for translators, and there are more information regarding the translating or the languages into which he needs the translating. Like I said, he is looking forward to have this, of course, translated primarily into the languages that he would like to have the game, where he would like to have the game released in those markets. But if you have an opportunity to offer maybe another language as well, please feel free to reach out. I'm pretty sure it will be very helpful also for the game dev and also for the game as such to be then released in more countries and be offered maybe in more countries. So it's really great if we would be able to support again the developer also in maybe something like this. So translators or as mentioned previously, the voice actors. Feel free to check out his account on X as well. And also, of course, aside from Steam and X, there is a page about the game. So there is a Pompeii the Legacy game homepage where you can find more information. There is also the opportunity to reach out to the developer in case you are not on X and you would not like to create a specific account for X just because you want to reach out to someone. So there is also an email address here where you can reach out to the dev and offer maybe voice actors or translations if you are aware of somebody like that. So that one is from Pompeii the Legacy. On this spot I wanted to give again a special shout out to Luis, because I know that he has offered to have the game translated into one of the languages, and he did reach out to the developer. So I'm really thankful for that, and thank you again for offering your support. It is really great. So feel free, anybody else as well who's going to see the stream or who's here, feel free to reach out to him. I think aside from being mentioned in the credits, of course, there will be some other perks that the developer will give to the people that will be supporting him. And I think, of course, he has some small budget as well to pay for these kind of things. But keep in mind, this is, again, an indie game dev who has like a small budget, and it will definitely not be some like business rates that you would normally see paid by bigger studios or other companies. So that's what I wanted to mention here. Let me just quickly check, and I can see we have some discussion going on. Louise is writing, see classics like Empire at War. The first Dawn of War, Warhammer 40k, has just had a remaster, but that speaks more to the scarcity of good new titles. Yes, that's something that I have noticed as well. So many companies are now trying to do like remasters and just go back to their old games, which had previously had big success. And they are now trying to replicate that again with a remaster. And I don't know if that's the right path forward. I'm pretty sure that people will be happy, those who have played the old games, that they will be happy that they can see the games improved, maybe with improved graphics, and can play them on newer computers, and it will be something very different than the older games. But again, it's not really pushing the industry as such forward. So if you're just going to remaster old games, yeah, I would be happy to see some new stories and some new games in terms of maybe some new different type of gameplay or combat systems or something, just like I mentioned with Blue Shutter. So this kind of camera angles and the combat done with the camera is something which is kind of interesting for me. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. And again, it is something new, but it does come from a smaller indie studio and not necessarily from the big ones. So it looks to me like the big ones are kind of falling asleep. They are not like really catching the mood which is between the gamers, and they don't really see what's going on, and they are just clinging to some old stuff, but they are not really willing to go into something new, and I think that's kind of a shame. So yeah. Let me mention one more thing regarding the Pompeii, the Legacy game, because I have noticed, I think it's one of the very few indie games that are not even out yet, which has like a separate Reddit thread already under city builders. So that's kind of cool. And I have seen that there is a person who has already posted something on Reddit, and they are talking about the game, and if other people are also looking forward to it. So it's not really a long thread, but it is there, and like I said, to my surprise, it's been already talked about. So it looks kind of cool also from the perspective that people are interested. It's not just a few people. I do believe that Željko, the developer, he mentioned that the game has gained by now, I think, like 20,000 wish lists. So 20,000 people have wishlisted the game already, and I think the biggest surge was after the March demo. So I'm pretty sure that now when he will release the game for early access in September, that he will get again more interested, more people interested in the game, and then again some more feedback, and maybe more people again just wishlisting the game. There is a demo available, as I mentioned, so if you don't want to wait for the early access, which is just in like 2 weeks, you can check out the demo in the meantime. And if you like city builders, I would definitely highly advise to check out the game. It's really, really cool, not just like from the visuals, but it's also easy to play. It's easily understandable, has a good grid which you can see, so you are pretty aware of how to build your city and what kind of buildings to post where. for the city to make sense, I would say. So yeah, there's music which is really nice, and I did like the voice acting. I was playing the English version, and I have to say the voice acting is really, really great. So the game as such really looks already so far very, very good, and I'm pretty sure when you play the demo you will see the same. And if you spot something that's maybe not working out, like I said, don't hesitate to go back to the developer, because he will be happy about any feedback so that the game can improve. So that much for Pompeii the Legacy. And let me just maybe switch a little bit back, and I can see Louis is probably stuck in a very bad connection right now, because I'm not seeing any chats from his side, and some of them are doubled. So yeah, Louis, hopefully you can still follow up on the stream. So this much for the indie games. Let me just switch maybe. So I will be highlighting the indie games that I'm coming across on this channel, and I will continue to do that also going forward when I find some of the games that look very promising and very interesting. And they don't necessarily have to be RPGs. So as you could see on this channel, if you are already longer here, I'm also looking, for example, into point and click games. So if there is something interesting there, I will mention that, for example, also city builders and so on. So it's not really a focus only on RPGs that I will be having when I'm checking out these indie games or these new games. I might mention also some other games. And if you like this type of games too, then feel free to check them out. I have noticed that there are people who are usually focused on more than one type of games, and maybe you find some interesting information here then when I introduce them. Yeah, the connection is officially impossible here in the Highlands. I am very sorry to hear that. I hope it will get a little bit better, and I hope that you will not have like very big problems to, watch the stream. And like I said, at least feel free to check it out later if you don't have the option now. So no worries. I'm happy that you were able to be here. Regarding the indie games, as I said, I will be also posting some of the demo excerpts, as I said, on my channel. Pompeii the Legacy is already posted. I have done a review for that, and Blue Shutter and Curse of Dominion then will be next. Like I said already in the beginning, probably not the entire demo playthrough, but at least I will be doing some highlights and mention something from the demo that I have liked, or maybe some stuff that might need some improving. I'm also pointing this out, so it's not like I'm only presenting to you the positive side, but I will also mention if something's not really working so well, that this is something that you might need to keep an eye on as well. Good, let me go to Mafia the Old Country impressions, and I'm pretty sure you have seen that I have posted the Mafia the Old Country videos on my channel. Let me just switch the desktop. So there are the prologue and the first 5 chapters posted, and I have had so far really a lot of fun, and you can probably see it also on the gameplay if you are watching the playthrough. The only thing that's bothering me so far is my crappy driving. But I have to say, this is not the first game and not the only game where I'm really like pretty crappy at the driving. I think I did mention that as well on one of the during one of the playthroughs in one of the chapters. Every time when there is a game that has any kind of vehicle, and not necessarily only cars, I'm seriously crap at driving those, so there's nothing new. Probably you have seen my playthrough of Mass Effect Andromeda. That was absolutely awful with the Nomad sometimes. I did get a little bit better, of course, by the end of the game as I was playing it. But yeah, that game had like 200 hours and I had enough time to practice. So yeah, that one helped a little bit. But if I think about it, the Mass Effect series as such had always had some kind of vehicle. So you had the Mako in Mass Effect 1, which I absolutely hated. I have to say, I could not really get along with that one, and it was always a pain when I had to use it. So that one was like for me the worst part of the Mass Effect 1 game probably. Even though, yeah, it had like this, what was that, this cannon mounted on top, so that was helpful against some enemies, but still I hated to drive that thing. Then we had the Hammerhead in Mass Effect 2, and that one was a little bit easier to, let's say, manipulate, simply because it was hovering like above the ground, and it wasn't really touching the ground, so it wasn't so bumpy, the rides that I did. Although when you had some bigger differences in the elevation and you had some like bigger jumps up and down, yeah, it was visible how crappy I am at this. So that one wasn't so great as well. And then, of course, naturally in Mass Effect 3, I was very, very happy when I didn't really have to do any driving. And thankfully, we were usually the host inside a vehicle that somebody else was driving. That was the biggest part of me, like biggest part for me, where I was like very happy. There wasn't so many options to botch something while driving. So that's something that I'm not really looking forward to also in Mafia the Odd Country. I have to say, I have noticed that more and more like scenes are where you are pushed towards using the car, and I'm currently looking forward to the explore mode or this exploration mode, because I will be definitely taking a horse for going around the country. And not the car, if I don't have to. So yeah, that one was like one of the highlights probably for people when they were watching. I had a good laugh when I was driving the car for the first time. It was totally awful, yeah. And yeah, Louis is writing, anyway, have a good night. I'll check the stream out later. Pity, I'd have liked to hear a Mafia review. Maybe I'll ask in the comments. Feel free to do that. And feel free to check out the stream later, as I said. So the driving part wasn't exactly what was so fantastic for me. And because I have noticed that there was surprisingly already the horse race. The moment we've got the opportunity to use horses, in the very next chapter there was already a horse race, which I didn't really want to take part in, but well, I had to do it. And now when I'm looking at how much the cars are being like pushed forward in the gameplay, I am afraid that there will be a car race I will have to join, and I am really not looking forward to how many times I will have to repeat it if I have to win it, because if it's just taking part and not having to win, good, I only have to do it once. But if I will have to win it, like the horse race, oh, that's not something I'm looking forward to. So yeah, that much me and the cars. I can see, no, I'm not escaping Mass Effect related guilt tripping from Snackish. Why would you think that? Yes. Did you already play the Mass Effect series, Luis? That's a, let's say, long running joke here on the channel already with Luis. You definitely have to play the games, and like, don't take my word for it when I said the driving was awful, because it's just me. It's just that I am an awful driver, but feel free to check out the game. It's not just about driving the vehicles. And I'm pretty sure you will be better at it than I am. So yeah, you definitely should play the Mass Effect games. But back to the Mafia game. So the next thing, like I said, will be the exploration mode. And I have noticed like there's a couple of Trinacrias on the map and they have appeared over time. So whenever I have looked at the map to a region where we haven't been before, you could only see like the small buildings on the map, but I have not seen any like collectibles that would be in the area. And then once we went through the area, the collectibles appeared, whether it was the Trinacrias or it was the newspapers. And I did miss quite a few. Thankfully, the ones that are tied to the chapters as such, those are usually easily to get, and usually you also don't miss them, so they are kind of like they pop up on certain spots where you can easily see them. But there was already, I think, one newspaper which I missed in the chapter with the horse races, Palio, I think it was. And I know I will not be getting this one back, so I definitely want to do another playthrough then, once I'm done with this one, the first one, where I will be gathering all the collectibles. But at this time, when I go into the explore mode, I will first and foremost, of course, use the roads that we have already traveled to see and gather all the collectibles that I can already see on the map. And then I will maybe check out the other areas as well, as I understood. But again, apologies if I'm not right here, but I haven't played the previous Mafia games. So again, I have to reiterate it on this spot, in case you didn't hear me saying it yet. So I haven't played the previous Mafia games yet, so I'm not sure about certain, let's say, game mechanics that are used in the series or in the franchise. From what I have heard, the exploration mode is basically only for you really like to walk around and gather all these collectibles, but you cannot really interact that much with people or with the NPCs or with something else, and there are not like any side quests or something that you could do. So it's really just to like explore the areas that you previously couldn't or didn't have that much time to explore. And I'm actually really looking forward to this because it is really a beautiful game from the visual perspective. I do appreciate how much attention they've paid to the details of the game, and how much they were like keeping up with the historical correctness. So basically the buildings, I don't know whether it's the stuff that's hanging on the walls, whether it's the clock that's hanging on the wall or the paintings or something you see in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't mean the recipe now. And that was a nice, interesting bit one to find that recipe. I do mean really all those little details that you really have the feeling to be in that spot at that time, and it really feels very accurate. Of course, it's not accurate in terms of the real life locations. I don't think that the city is tied to any one specific city, like any specific city in Sicily. But in general, it does have a very good combination of all the aspects that you would be able to find in real life. So I really appreciate that one, and I really want to have a look around. Like I said, the visuals are really stunning, and all these details, it's just fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to the exploration mode. I'm not sure if I'm going to post like a very long bit from that one. Who knows? I don't know. I will definitely post at least some highlights from me trying to get something which is not in reach. Like the first Trinacria where I was wondering like if I can reach it from the horseback and stuff like that. Then I just realized I can shoot it down, but yeah, I couldn't shoot it in during the particular chapter where it was appearing, so I did it later. And yeah, I think that is something that I'm really looking forward to. As I said, I hope you are having fun with the playthrough just as much as I have, and I'm still trying to avoid any spoilers. From time to time, I see that there are some bits like popping up regarding Mafia the Old Country from some other channels, and I'm just quickly like deleting those and getting rid of those because I don't want to be spoiled. I would really love to finish the game first and then I will look at the other bits. What I'm definitely planning to do is when I'm done with the game, then I will be definitely doing a review for it, and probably also in a nutshell. So in case you haven't seen the in a nutshell bits, you can check out. I have Horizon Zero Dawn and The Witcher 3 so far there. I am working continuously also in the background on some other in a nutshell bits, but the reality is that those require a lot of editing, and I have to like re-record parts of some of the games in order to be able to do the in a nutshell, because I have played a lot of the games that I would like to do a review for or in a nutshell bit. Way back when I wasn't having this channel, and I have no recorded gameplay, so I basically have to re-record a lot of the games and get enough gameplay, and especially if I'm talking about specific points in the game that I would like to highlight it in the review or in the nutshell bit, I really have to get to that point in the game in order to be able to use it like in the final bit. So it does take a little bit of time. Don't worry, I haven't given up on that one. I'm still planning to release a couple of more of those. But like I said, it's taking a lot of time. So it's something that I'm working in the meantime on in the background. And currently I'm focusing on the playthrough of Mafia the Old Country, which I would like to finish. And don't worry, in case you are also following up on the Horizon Forbidden West, then it's not going anywhere. I will still finish the playthrough, and I will be posting also the next chapters in the coming days and weeks. But again, I can only do so much, so please be patient. I will be focusing on some stuff in the meantime as well, and whenever I have some chapter or playthrough ready, then I will be definitely posting it. But it's not, I haven't given up on it, it's not going anywhere, it will be posted, it will just take a little bit more time, so just FYI. And also on this spot, thank you very much for your patience, and thanks to everyone who's actually commenting on all those vids. I have noticed that there are viewers that are coming back, and I'm really glad that you like the playthroughs so much that you are coming back to every one of the chapters. It's really nice to see you there, and please don't hesitate to use the comment sections. It's really great for me to see the interaction. It's really the reason for which I have created the channel, so I really wanted to have more interaction with people, and I really appreciate whenever I can see somebody else's like thoughts or impressions on a game, and maybe when you are asking some stuff and we can just have a discussion in the comments. It's really great. So please don't hesitate to use the comment section. It's there for you to post your thoughts and observations, and maybe ask if you have some questions. So that much on this spot. Let me take a small break, and then I will come back and we continue with some other stuff. Okay, I'm back. Thank you very much for your patience. I had to take a small break. It was inevitable. As you can hear, my voice isn't exactly the best these days, and I'm also having a tiny cold, so yeah, I had to take a break. Let me go back to Mafia the Old Country and to something I wanted to mention, and that is in regards of the characters. And I did mention it already also during the playthrough, so I do like how the, let's say, certain archetypes are in the game. You have some of the people there who immediately you either like them or you don't like them. And I think I have voiced my distrust into Cesare a couple of times already. At this point, what I have to say, and it basically is from my side a big kudos to the writers, because they did really pay attention to how to write the characters. And so far, I'm really grateful for, let's say, the story, the flow, and how the characters are also interacting, not just with Enzo, but also between each other. And it really like paints the whole picture. I did have some fun with some of the interactions in the background. And the voice actor or the actor, because I think they did also the mock-up, he did a great job in depicting Cesare, but basically every single one of them, whether it was Enzo, whether it was Luca, whether it was Don Torisi, I mean, that voice actor was chosen very, very well, to be honest. The character of Don Torisi is very imposing on screen, and combined with that voice, it just gives you shivers every time, at least to me. Like every time when I see him on the screen, I'm like, oh, what the hell is going to happen? And it does have a certain aura, the character, that is, I think, very, very fitting for the game and also for him being the boss, basically. So it is really great work on the part of the writers of the studio, and also how well the voice actors have been chosen for these roles, because I do believe they really, really fit the characters that they are depicting. Of course, so far my favorite is Luca, I have to say, and it is simply because of the, let's say, calm demeanor. He's just trying to, let's say, solve the problems. Cesare creates those, and Luca is trying to solve those. So he's kind of this grounded character, the reliable one, and so far, at least, I like I said, I haven't played the game, I haven't finished it to the very end, so I don't know, but so far I'm having this impression. And then there is old Tino, which is like, he's kind of giving me the impression there is something going on in the background with this guy. I cannot help myself. I just can't point like my finger at it, what it is, but it's this kind of like little side remarks. For example, when Isabella was saying that like he's trying to drive a wedge between her and her father, Don Torisi. Why would he do that? I'm just keep on asking myself, because if he would be, let's say, this kind of really loyal advisor, he would try to make sure that the family, in the extended sense, they are all sticking together, and that this kind of family unit is cohesive, and it's not that they don't have any like problems between themselves, that they have that there is not something that would like break up this unity, this family unity. That would be something I would be expecting from some figure or a character like old Vito in his role as this kind of advisor. And I don't think he's doing that, because like I said, Isabella mentioned already this, and he's like, yes, he's keeping an eye on her. That I understand why, because she's the Don's daughter. So of course, old Vito is not happy when somebody like Enzo, who is coming from a mine, is basically interested in Don Torres' daughter. Understandable. But then there's these little details where I'm having the feeling that there is something more behind this character. So I'm really looking forward to see whether my hunch is actually correct, because I do have like this kind of weird gut feeling, or whether it's not. It's just that some of the stuff doesn't fit what I would expect from his character. The other ones so far have been, let's say, more or less fitting the roles that they are representing. Even crazy Cesare, I mean, he is like the way he is, okay, but he's still like a good friend to Enzo, and you can see that basically especially in the chapter that I haven't posted yet, the next one, I did already play it. Like I said, it's in editing currently, but you can see there that he didn't leave Enzo's side when he got in trouble, and he came back and helped him out. So no matter how he is, no matter if I like him personally or not, but I have to admit that basically as a character within this mafia family, he's really loyal to the other ones, which I can't say about Vito. So yeah, that much on the characters, I have to say. Oh yeah, one more thing, Isabella, I think she's really also well chosen. I like the character, how she is. She's not like too... She's not really drawing too much attention to herself, like intentionally, and I'm talking about the character. She's there, she's trying like to gain a little bit more independence from her dad. And she has mentioned it also in one of the chapters that she was trying to like go and study in a different city, and he was very categorically against it. And I do understand his point of view, but I also understand her point of view. She wanted to get out a little bit away from his, let's say, sphere of influence, and also experience maybe other people and some new environments, because from what I gather, she's just there all the time in one and the same setting with one and the same people. Then you have people like Vito and other like people in the family watching out over her, and basically not really having her interact with other people that much. So it's like she's this kind of a bird in a golden cage, I would say. And from that perspective, I do understand very well like that she's trying to do some stuff on her own, a little bit more independently, because I gather that she's not probably very, very happy about living like that for so many years. And on one side, I also think that Enzo is currently, because he's like, let's say, new and an interesting new character, she's also not just, of course, falling in love with him, but she's also finding some interest in him in terms of that's a new character that brings some change into the old ways and into how it's working in the family and in the area and in the house where she lives. So I do think that there is also something that is interesting for her in those terms. And I do like also the voice actress. She's really trying to depict the character in this way, and it's not, even though she's a prominent character in some of the chapters, she's not like pushing herself into the foreground. You really have the game focusing more on Enzo and on Luca and Cesare and all the other guys there who are, having these missions. But it's nice to see her there, and it's nice to see also the interactions we get with her. And it's really nicely written, like I said. So I really do have to say the writing in this game is fantastic. And this is definitely from the games that I have seen coming out this year. I know there was a lot of hype regarding Clair Obscur, and the writing was also fantastic from what I have seen, what I have heard, what I have read. And Mafia the Old Country definitely is also one of the games which has a fantastic writing. And for me personally, Mafia the Old Country is definitely a game that would be suitable for Game of the Year, at least in my opinion. But I understand that Clair Obscur had like more hype, so it will be probably Clair Obscur. That's just a guess on my part currently. We are still only by the end of August, so we have a few more months to go, but yeah, it would be my guess. But definitely, I really appreciate Mafia the Old Country. Many aspects of the game, but the writing is really very well done on this one. So that's what I wanted to mention in terms of the characters in relation to the Mafia the Old Country game. And then also in terms of the gameplay as such, what I just wanted to mention is I do like that we have the knives and the pistols and the rifles, that we can switch the weapons and we can use different weapons depending on the situation. Because of my stupid mistake that I have had in the beginning, I had a really shitty knife. Now I have a better one, thankfully. And the gameplay is much better, I have to say, with the knife. Not necessarily with the rest, but yeah. But I do appreciate that we have so many options and that you can buy like better gear. So it's really interesting for me to see what I can afford and what I can do with what I have, with the weapons that I have. I do appreciate that even though you cannot really see, like, let's say the stats when you're picking a weapon on the screen, what I mean is now in the shop that we visited, where we were picking up some of the weapons, you couldn't really see the stats. You were just there to pick up, I don't know, one pistol and one rifle, and that was it. And you could only see like how many rounds of ammo you can insert into that weapon, but not really the stats. But then I realized, yeah, you can see the stats basically whenever you go into this inventory screen and you just go through the knives and the pistols and then everything. So yes, it's there. You just have to remember it, because not always you will have the opportunity to see it when you are picking your gun. You have to remember that. And I think that one is actually something that I like. It's not this kind of easy going hand holding from your standard RPG where every time when you are doing some choice you get all the options and you see everything on the screen and you don't have to remember anything. Here you have to remember a lot of the stuff, so I do appreciate that actually. And like I said, I do find let's say some of the weapons already which I, let's say, prefer to use from the ones that I had the opportunity to use. So I definitely will be sticking with some of those. I haven't figured out yet the knife throwing. I haven't thrown the knife a single time, even though I had the knife that I can throw. I haven't done that. So I probably will not be using those throwing knives going forward. Makes no sense if I'm never using the option. But I do like that you have different types of knives and that those have like different, they give you different perks. So I have to really thank again the devs for giving us the option. So in terms of gameplay, I did botch the stealth mission, definitely. But thankfully, you are like not locked out of it, or you will not fail it if you fail to like go through completely the entirety of the mission through like stealth. There is one, and that's the one that I haven't posted yet. It's in the editing, as I said, which I've played, which was the chapter, the next one, where you really depend on being stealthy, and you have to basically be careful not to be discovered, otherwise the quest will fail. So I have noticed that because it did fail for me. So yeah, you will see a failed quest in the next one. And I have to say, and I already said that before the game released, I'm not necessarily a fan of pure stealth missions, but from what I could see so far, it's thankfully like not every mission is like that. When we were going into the villa of that one guy, and we were supposed to go in also as a stealth mission, and basically then it was clear that we will have to shoot our way out anyway. But even if you botch, let's say, the stealth part already on your way in, you will not have a mission failed, and I like that because, like I said, I'm not really a big fan. And I'm really thankful that basically, even though I don't like these pure stealth missions, there is one because it gives you, again, some different type of gameplay. And I really like it that you have one like this, one like that, or one where you just simply shoot no matter what. One where you have this stealth mission, one where you have a combo, one where you have to like steal stuff from the port. So yeah, it is always something new and something different in every one of those chapters, and I actually really like it. Even if it's a feature that I'm not so fond of, but it's at least like something different every time. And I'm really hoping that this will be like continuing going forward, that we will have this kind of variety of stuff to do, weapons to use, you know, the gameplay mechanics are then more interesting because you're using different stuff every single time, something else. So I do appreciate this really a lot. So that much on the gameplay, and I do think that in general this game will be something that I'm going to replay, even if it's not an open world, even if it's like a linear game that has a predefined ending. I will be most probably replaying the game then for sure, because like I said, I want to collect all the collectibles, don't miss anything. I will maybe try to play certain chapters differently. Yes, you can do a chapter replay already now, but I don't want to replay some chapters when I even haven't finished the game. So I rather finish the game and then I do another replay to see how differently I can play the game. So definitely this is one that I'm going to play again in the future as well. It is definitely one of the games that I'm looking forward to coming back, maybe also in a couple of years. But there is the rest of the Mafia games that still wait for me, because I do have the entirety of the franchise by now. And I do have also the previous games. And I absolutely would love to play the other games now as well. When I have seen at least partially already this game, I really like it. I really like how it's done, how the franchise is set up. So I'm definitely going to play the other Mafia games as well after I finish this one. And it will be interesting, more interesting, because I will play them in chronological order. So it might be even more interesting for me. So there will be other Mafia games definitely that I'm going to play on this channel for sure as well. The other ones. Good. That much for Mafia the Old Country. Talked about it a lot. So yeah, I hope you did like this part, and please feel free to share your thoughts about the game with me, whether it's on this stream in the comment section or in the chat, or whether it's in the separate vids that I'm posting. Feel free, to use the comment section, and let's just talk about it. And then, like I said, after I'm done with the game, I will be definitely doing some vids about it, and then feel free to chat also there with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing your opinions on the game as well. Let me go to the other stuff that I have prepared aside from that. Oh yeah, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention, just in case you have missed it. Let me just switch quickly onto the desktop. So there is a patch that just came out actually yesterday. And it is a patch that is fixing some stuff in terms of gameplay, visuals, UI, audio, animation, localization, etc. I will be posting again the link, but I'm pretty sure if you are playing the game, you have noticed already there is a update queued in your downloads. For that, I did update it today in the morning, so I'm having the updated version already. So let's see when I'm playing the next part how it will be looking like. And what the fixes have done. I do have to say I am playing the game on the lowest possible setting, and that is simply because my PC is already a little bit older. And honestly, I was happy that I was just able to manage the minimum requirements that I had the system at least on that level. For the newer games that will be coming out maybe next year or in 2 years, I will most probably already have to upgrade. So yeah, will not be fun, honestly. But in terms of Mafia the Old Country, I still managed, and I do think that it's great that they have fixed some stuff now in the patch. So that much for Mafia the Old Country. And then the next part is Horizon. The makers of Horizon, which is Sony, Guerrilla, but yes, Sony above them, have sued Tencent. I'm pretty sure you have heard about it. And I wanted to point out there are some new information regarding of changes that have been done on the Light of Motiram game after the lawsuit was published. And let me go through that. There is a video actually on those changes, which was done by Arctics. I do believe that if you are a fan of the Horizon franchise, that you know Arctics. Really a good channel, going in depth into some of the features of the games, and some good advice about Horizon, like what's the best weapons, what's the best armors, etc. And he did a video. As you can see, the Horizon ripoff lawsuit situation got even crazier, and he was summarizing what happened since the lawsuit. So I would like to play the video, but again, let me take a tiny small break, and I will come back after the break to this video, and we can review a little bit what has happened here on this front. So let me just take a little break. Thank you for your patience. Good, so we're back, or I'm back, as you can see. I have already put on the headset because I would like to play a little bit at least from the video. And I will just have to adjust a little bit the sound settings. I hope it will not be too loud, but if it is, please let me know in the chat window. I can see it here. And let me just play the vid and maybe comment a little bit on what he's saying.
It hasn't even been 2 weeks since Sony filed their lawsuit against Tencent for copying elements.
And yeah, we get the standard classic, yeah, oh come on.
Elements of the Horizon franchise in their game Light of Mataram, but it's already looking like Tencent is folding and Sony is winning. As far as we know, Tencent hasn't even formally responded to the accusations yet, but they're clearly scared because this past week, all of a sudden, they completely overhauled the Light of Mataram Steam page and website, basically removing all the marketing materials that looked like Horizon, which
Good. So you have heard it. This video has been posted about 2 weeks ago. So it's already an information that's about 2 weeks old. So it happened already 2 weeks ago by mid-August. But I definitely had a good laugh at this point when he said that they have already removed everything. So it clearly did scare them because they probably didn't expect the lawsuit. As I said, there have been, in my previous video about this situation, there have been cases where we have seen Chinese companies copying some stuff from other games, and usually nobody really bothered to sue them because it just wasn't worth it. And this time Sony said, nah, it's the Horizon franchise is something that's really a very successful franchise for Sony, and they really value it a lot, which is very understandable. And of course, when they have seen this kind of blatant ripoff that Light of Mataram from Tencent is, they said, okay, yeah, let's go and sue them, even if it's like the first time, and even if it will be maybe a longer battle because it's a Chinese company. Sony is by now already American, so yeah. But clearly, the Chinese Tencent, even though it's like the biggest, I think they are the biggest in Asia. I'm not sure if they are not the biggest as such. They are the biggest creator of games or games developer or publisher in Asia, definitely. And yeah, it's no small thing when somebody like Sony sues you. So let's continue.
Was most of them, and they actually took down almost all the official trailers on their YouTube channel, including the reveal trailer. I'll show you some examples of how drastic these changes were in a minute, but after my last video, I realized two things. First, I didn't do the best job of giving you the full picture of this situation. So just to be absolutely clear, Sony is not suing Tencent over the gameplay itself. They're not saying Light of Mataram plays like Horizon. What they are saying is that the marketing materials, the images and trailers, along with some of the in-game world design, look so much like Horizon aesthetically that it will cause consumer confusion. That's what.
Yes, and on this spot also, this is something that I have been highlighting already in the previous video when I talked about this topic the first time, and it wasn't just me, it was other creators as well. When we were noticing that it is not necessarily the gameplay, because way too many people who have seen the gameplay bits, and there are parts of the gameplay posted as well in other bits from other creators, as well as within the video that I did way back when, a couple of months ago. And it was pretty clear that the gameplay is not like Horizon, and there were some aspects of the game that were not like Horizon, but the visual side absolutely is, and it is just way too many things that are just copied from Horizon for Tencent to be able to deny it.
what the lawsuit is about, and I showed a bunch of examples of how strikingly similar a bunch of those things are in the last video. But I also failed to mention in that video that the lawsuit was filed in California. So even though Tencent is a Chinese company, Sony is looking to block the game in the US, or at least force it to substantially change before launching in the US, which would effectively force those changes globally. But second, I was honestly surprised by some of the comments on that video. I am not a fan of Tencent, but video games that look alike and borrow mechanics from other games, how the hell do you think video game ideas are made?
Yes, and I think he's going to address now something that is also like the first thing when I seeing such comments is the same thing what Arctix is going to say. It's one thing to be inspired by something, and it's completely a different thing if you are just blatantly stealing something. It is the same like when some artist is creating some art. It's a difference if you are inspired by it and you create something where it does have a couple of similarities, but it is clearly your own art and it is something that you have created and it's not being... nobody's going to mistake it for the art of the original artist. It's something of your own. You can be inspired by it, but you're not copying. And it is something completely different than if you would take, I don't know, a picture and just copy every brush stroke that's on the original picture and then say, yeah, it's mine because I have painted it. But it's an almost exact copy of the original. It's two different things, and I think that's what people don't understand. It's one thing to be inspired by something, and it's something completely different when you just blatantly steal something. There is a reason why copyright law exists, and if people don't understand that, then that's where we have a problem, because then also for me it means you have no respect for the work of other people if you are not respecting, let's say, the copyright. And I think Arctix is putting it very, very well in his explanation now.
If it's actually good, I don't care. If we'll be on market, I will play it. Do I care about Sony? No, I do not. Hey bro,
it's
what's
not
the point of
Sony,
malding over this game? Malding. You like post-apocalyptic games with robotic enemies? Here's more of it. Who cares that they take really, really heavy inspiration from Horizon if they make
it's
you
not
a
inspiration.
fun game?
That's the problem. Yeah.
You serious?
You can talk all the crap you want. All I'm interested in is if the new game is any good or not. I'm not like you. I don't care anything about corporate. They have all the money. All I care about is if the new game is any good or not. Most of us here like the games, really don't care about corporate.
That's the problem with so many people these days. Like I said, as long as the game is good, I don't care. It sounds like you don't care about a lot of things and you don't care about anything. Basically just looking at your own enjoyment, but not necessarily distinguishing between right and wrong. And I think that's what's the problem with many people these days. But yeah. Let's listen to this because, like I said, I think Arctix has a very good response to that.
Or their lawyers. Straight facts.
Oh, hell no!
Now, I do understand some of these points. I don't agree with them, and I'll explain why, but there are some fair points here. And yes, this is two massive corporations battling each other. It's not exactly a David versus Goliath scenario where there's a little guy you can feel good rooting for. But that's the first point I want to address. See, in case you weren't aware, Tencent is the biggest game company in the world.
Okay, so yeah, they are the biggest ones in the world. Apologies for the stupid ads. Yeah, we'll skip those then in the recordings when I'm making those.
Pol roka od svadby a vy stále nič? Všetko má svoj čas, babka.
Nová séria.
Yeah, apologies, very
Ranč. Od 1.
uninteresting
na Jojke.
Slovak production
S
here.
aplikáciou Clubcard máte aktuálny leták vždy so sebou. Desko.
It's not very obvious because they don't really put their name on many of the games they have a stake in, and because some of their biggest moneymakers are mobile games. But some giants you might recognize are Genshin Impact, Honor of Kings, PUBG Mobile, League of Legends, and Valorant. Each of those games individually did over $1 billion in revenue in just huge, 2024 alone.
Here comes the money!
Here we go.
Not a single one of Sony's first-party games even came close to that. And those are just some of the top ones. Fortnite, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six Siege, and even Soulsborne games like Elden Ring all funnel a portion of their revenue to Tencent because Tencent owns significant chunks of the developers and publishers that make those games. Altogether, Tencent is worth about $670 billion, while Sony's PlayStation division is worth about $55 billion. So yes, we are talking about two big corporations battling each other here. And I'm not saying Sony is a perfect little angel, but if anyone is the underdog, it's Sony by a long shot. And by the way, there actually is a little guy here. It's Guerrilla, the studio of just a few hundred people that created the entire Horizon franchise and who I'm sure just want to defend their creative work. Personally, I'm glad they have Sony at their back for something like this. But maybe you don't care about any of that. Maybe you still just say, all I care about is getting good games. I don't care about any of this corporate BS. Fair enough. But I think you're actually shooting yourself in the foot with that mentality. And I'll tell you why, but let me quickly just show you how dramatically the Light of Moderem marketing materials got changed after Sony spooked Tencent with the lawsuit. Alright, so let's just start with the game's cover art. We originally had this very tribal-looking girl wearing a sort of Banuk-style headdress, face paint, different style than Horizon, but definitely Horizon vibes there. And now they've updated the cover art to be a robotic penguin and a robotic piglet.
A copy.
I mean, I don't know how you pivot this hard.
Art.
Like, if this is still an accurate representation of the game, then to me, that's just even more clear that what they were doing before was just trying to use the Horizon aesthetic to get people's attention. And another big change here on the Steam page is the updated description right under the cover art. So it used to read, in a world overrun by colossal machines, explore the vast open world, build your base of operations, advance technology, train mechanimals, and take on formidable bosses. Starting from the primitive age, forge a new path of development, defy the machination, survive with mechanimals. And
that is something that I was also mentioning in the previous vid when the data was also still available and when I was using the screenshots as well. About the Light of Moderem game, it was exactly this which I pointed out, like they have not just played around with the visuals and marketed the visuals heavily relying upon Horizon, the Horizon series, but they were also using specifically the mentions of these mechanimals, even though they call them mechanimals. But again, that is something that was very visually distinct by looking exactly as the Horizon series. And some of them, I think it was this one which looks like the elephant, they are almost the same, like from a visual perspective. So they were definitely going along with this, let's say, deceptive marketing, trying to make sure that the people will connect the Light of Moderem game with the Horizon series, and they will think that they know what to expect and maybe that this is tied to the Horizon series in a certain way. So absolutely from my side, from what I have seen, I have to say it was definitely used in a very deceptive way.
Now the updated version is just way more planned. Make smart use of everything around you to stay alive and face off against formidable bosses.
And no mechanimals.
Every step is fraught with danger and requires courage. Only by overcoming the challenges of survival can you carve out a place for yourself in this unforgiving land. So clearly changing the wording there to remove anything that even remotely resembled Horizon. And then a bunch of the marketing images on the Steam page got removed or changed as well. So there used to be a bunch of in-game screenshots that showed creatures very much like the machines in Horizon.
This one,
for
I think
example,
this one is the most
and now on the
prominent
updated page, we still have in-game screenshots, but they've changed pretty much all of them around to show very different aspects of the game, which maybe is a more accurate representation of what the game actually is, but very much intentionally removing all the shots here that looked anything like Horizon. But I actually think the changes on the website and their YouTube channel are a little bit more interesting. So their website used to have 3 tabs at the top.
Yeah, before we continue, I just wanted to mention, I mean, regardless of how much you change the marketing materials and how much you now pivot away from this, let's say, deceptive marketing, we have seen parts of the gameplay. And yes, the gameplay as such is very different, you know, how the game mechanics are working, but the visuals are still very strikingly similar, especially in some spots of the gameplay. When they were introducing the game, you could see clearly that the protagonist, which was depicted there, was wearing the, I wouldn't say clothing, but basically something like clothing, armor, something like that, which was very, very similar to the Horizon series. And now, when you are removing some of the stuff, let's say for marketing purposes, will they also go back into the game and actually change something in the game that is too much like Horizon? That's for me more the question here. Let me just quickly check what is going on in the chat, just to see if you have any questions, but let's go back now.
Home, and then you'd go to features, which would take you down a little bit and show you some clearly Horizon inspired concept art for the open world.
Yeah,
there's also a shot here of Mechanimals that looks a lot like marketing shots for Horizon Forbidden West. And then if you went down further, there was a Mechanimals section that showed off some of the different creatures in the game that very much look like Horizon.
Yeah.
But now after they've updated their site, they've removed almost all of that. You go to the homepage and it's basically just a single slide here with the game name and a bit of B-roll playing in the background. They've clearly picked B-roll shots that don't look like Horizon once again. And there's actually not even a description of the game on the website anymore. But what I think is the craziest is if you go to the Light of Moderum YouTube channel, there used to be like 8 or 10 videos here, including the reveal trailer and like a gameplay deep dive and a world trailer. And now there's just these 2 1-minute clips showcasing some of the creatures in the game, like that little penguin guy in the key art and also the little piglet guy. So clearly Tencent is scrubbing away all these materials because...
Good. I will stop it here. I would definitely advise you to check out Arctic's channel if you haven't seen this, and I will also post the link in the description below. And also on this spot, a big shout out actually to Arctic's for all the work that he has done on this one, because he gathered all the details and he had some recordings also from the previous ways how the marketing materials looked like, what the game's homepage looked like. So he had everything at hand and he now made the comparison. And I'm not sure if many people have noticed, many people have been aware about the situation and about the original screenshots and marketing materials and the gameplay. But I'm not sure if they have noticed these differences and what happened in the meantime. So again, a big shout out to Arctics for this work and for this video. It's really cool. So absolutely check out the video and have a look at what he's presenting there. So I wanted to mention this because I do think that there will be still something more to come. Like I said, it's one thing to remove the marketing materials. It's completely something different when you have still what we could see in the game. When you still have this, let's say, Horizon lookalike character, when you have the clothing or armor there, when you have these Mechanimals there, I mean, as long as you have this there, they will not be able to avoid the lawsuit because it's still there and it's still a clear copy of the Horizon franchise. So I'm keeping an eye on that one and will follow up on that one for sure. So I just wanted to point this one out. And the last one, the last topic which I had prepared for today would be something which you have probably already noticed this week. I did have a good laugh, to be honest. Let me just check again or change the screen to the desktop, and let's go to one of the articles at That Park Place. And as you can see, it's our favorite game from last year that we are talking about, which is Dragon Age the Failguard from ZombieWare. And they are now giving away the Failguard for free, and nobody's still playing it. And just to give you a good picture about it, let me quickly read through what's stated here. So, BioWare's Dragon Age franchise stood as one of the most respected names in fantasy RPGs. Fans have waited 10 years for the long-promised return of the series, hoping for a revival of the magic that made Origins and Inquisition stand out. Instead, Dragon Age the Failguard, released last October, has gone down as one of the most stunning disappointments in modern gaming that people won't even play for free. And I think you have seen both me and some other creators who have been absolutely disappointed waiting 10 years for a game like this and then getting Failguard. It was making a lot of people very disappointed, and it was making a lot of people very, very angry, and they have also voiced this anger. And I definitely did a couple of videos on this channel as well, where I talked about the game in not a positive light, because for me it was basically the destruction of a franchise that I was a fan of for many, many years. And then I have seen this and I just knew, okay, it's over. But let me scroll down a little bit. What's this about? And this one is really something. If you would tell this to people last year before the game released, that this is how it's going to end, nobody would be believing you. Between August 20th and September 2nd, so still for a couple of days, Amazon Australia launched a promotion where anyone buying qualifying items, and mind you, that's more than 1,000 separate items, from routers to controllers, would receive a free copy of Dragon Age the Failguard. They are giving it away for free because Amazon's own fine print described the promotion as an effort to unload inventory, a sign the warehouses are overflowing with unsold stock. That says it all. For a Dragon Age title once considered a guaranteed hit, that alone is humiliating. And that says it all. Yeah, like I said, there's a little recap of what happened with Dragon Age the Failguard. So the launch was last year by the October 31st. It did release as a premium RPG for $70. And then you could see just 4 months later, it was part of Sony's monthly free lineup for all subscribers. In August this year already, it dropped into Microsoft's Game Pass catalog through EA Play, lumped in with other filler titles. And now, by the end of August and start of September, Amazon Australia is giving it away with more than 1,000 everyday purchases. So this is saying it all. People are not even interested in the game, which is sitting somewhere in the warehouses, no matter in what way you are offering it to them. And the only way how they can get rid of it, and technically really get rid of it, because they're clearing out the warehouses, is giving it away for free. And that says it all. I mean, there's a little discussion here or a little mention of the stats. We have seen those and we've talked about those, and the difference between, of course, the critics, how the critics have rated the game and how the players have rated the game. And absolutely the divide couldn't be bigger. I think the critics were, of course, rating the game very high because it ticked all the checkboxes, the DI checkboxes, and it is exactly why most of the people who were criticizing the game. And yeah, again, like I said, I was talking about this also in the last video that I actually posted on the channel, which was about IGN. That was a very good example. One of the big journalism outlets, which gave the game a stunning review and a ton of points, and it was completely detached from reality and from the user scores and from the user's critique. So this divide is very common in the past few years, and the Failguard was a good example of that divide. So yeah, that one to mention here. I will again link the this part or this article in the description below, and you can read it then for yourself. I'm not going to read it all, but yeah, that one was let's say the highlight of the past few days, which I'm pretty sure you have noticed, and which is a game we did talk about on this channel. So for me, it just continues to confirm what I have said and the criticism that I had towards the game. This is an absolutely crappy game. Nobody wants to play that. People who have played it, those do recognize the many downsides the games have. Yeah, sure, there will be probably some hardcore fans, ZombieWare fans, who will be giving it still a good review because, yeah, it's ZombieWare. But from the, let's say, casual players and the players who are, let's say, hardcore RPG players who have been waiting for this game, most of them will say no, this is definitely not a good game. So yeah, that one for this topic, and that was actually the last topic which I had for today. I can see Snakish has joined. Hello, what are we discussing? And you have seen Luis has already left because he was stuck in a train which really didn't have a very good connection. Let me bully you about not having played I did that on your behalf, Snakish, don't worry. I did tell him about it. So we did talk about Mass Effect actually a little bit as well. And on that spot, I did tell Luis to play the games. So don't worry, I did that on your behalf. No, I missed it. Yes, you did, unfortunately, because basically at this point, I'm at the end of the stream. I did prepare a couple of topics. I went through the topics. In general, I would just advise you to review the recording. That's for basically everybody who joined it a little bit later, because I did introduce very interesting indie games in the beginning, so they might be worth checking out. And then I had a very long part where I was talking about Mafia the Old Country. Currently the game that I'm playing on the channel and I'm really fond of, so I did provide some insights from my side. And yeah, Snakish is saying, well done, Sisa, thank you for bullying him for me. It was the good kind of bullying. I tried to tell him to play a good game, so that's not technically bullying. That was a good advice, you know. Okay. And yeah, I was talking about like I said, the Mafia, the Old Country. Then we did review a little bit what's happening with the Sony and Tencent lawsuit. So for people who are interested in Horizon, that might be an interesting one. And now in the end, the Dragon Age, the Failguard, newest information. So nobody wants to play it still a year later, less than a year later, 10 months later, still nobody wants that game. So not a surprise there. Yeah, so basically that would be it from my side for tonight. I'm actually happy that you managed to join, at least for a little while. It was really nice. Also with Lois, I did talk a little bit to him in the beginning. And also what I wanted to mention again, everybody who's going to reach out maybe to Željko, the game dev for Pompeii the Legacy, in case you are interested in helping out with the voice acting or the translations. Also from my side, a big thank you. I think he's made a great game, and I really think that it would be great if we would be able to help him out. So I really appreciate your support if you are reaching out to him. So thank you on this, but also from my side. And yeah, Snakish is saying people are still shocked nobody likes that shit. Yeah, nobody likes Failguard or Failguard. Yeah. Some people are saying the game isn't so bad. I'm not going to comment on that. I think I've commented on that already quite a lot and wasn't in a nice way. So yeah, you know my opinion. And in case you don't, you can check out the vids on this channel where I talk about it. So in general, again, if you are new here, please feel free to also check out the channel. There's a ton of other vids and different games and gameplays and reviews and whatever. So I'm pretty sure there is a little bit for everyone on the channel, so feel free to roam around, find something interesting and watch it. And then if you want to interact, please feel free to use the comment section, or you can also find me on, for example, on Facebook, and here. I always have a problem pointing towards it. So I have a couple of other social media and you can see them all here. So you can find me with the handle also on Facebook or on X or Rumble or Reddit or whatever. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me as well there if you don't want to use the comment section in YouTube. So that would be it from my side. I wanted to thank you all for watching and for being here. I will be definitely doing again in September the next stream. I'm not sure yet which Friday, and I promise I will be trying to give you a heads up a little bit further ahead and not just in the very last moment. I did post, I think, the information about the stream on Wednesday, so I do understand that not everybody had on such a short notice time to join, but nevertheless I will be trying to post it a little bit earlier, so feel free to check out the next stream then in September. And when I know what the topics will be, I will be definitely posting them also on the channel here as a post, a community post, and then also on X, where I'm posting also a little heads up always regarding the streams. So on the spot, again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here. I wish you a very, very nice weekend. I hope you have a great time, and see you then on the next stream. Bye.